Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I live in Canada, and you don't see gun shootings happen like often, really ever. And usually when you do see them, they're related to gangs and substances and stuff like that. It's not really related to your
I think
average person just walking down the street.
the big difference between a lot of countries and United States is that when it comes to gun violence in other countries, it's usually mafia and very rich and high class gangs, criminals. But in United States, your average person, even poor people have guns, like shotguns, like very poor people that don't have homes, somehow have guns that cost thousands of dollars, if not more, which makes no sense to me. Like, how does that even happen?
Sorry, my bad.
That
Yeah,
is
I
a
would say
good
it's
point.
like I think Americans kind of are too in love with their guns. They kind of view guns as like some right. Like if they take away guns, what's next? Are they going to take away healthcare? Are they going to take away? Actually, they've already done that, but they'll do it more. They'll do it harder. But
So,
I feel like Canada's cool, man. I like Canada. I would like to. If I had to live in the Americas, I would live in Canada. Canada seems like a great place, but it's just like I don't want to be like, why don't you just copy Canada? But like, why don't you just copy Canada? I mean, they seem to be like literally. I think this last year there's been like 3 school shootings. America has had something like 30.
Yeah, like I know in Canada, like the gun laws, like you can't even have your guns stored in the same safe as your ammo. You have to have them separate. You have to pass over 80 on the exam. There's an inspector that comes and makes sure that everything is being kept up to standard and you're following the rules. So like somebody will come like every 3 months to make sure that your ammo is stored separately from your safe and stuff like that, like from your guns, and it's just really tedious. So
And yeah, that's
yeah,
the weird thing. Like, you look at America. Americans literally have Grand Theft Auto inventories, but I've seen rooms that have not even like literally automatic weapons. Why does a person need to commercially own a weapon that can fire 30 rounds ever? Like, who are you? When will you ever need to kill? Oopsie, am I gonna get banned? When will you ever need to off? Is that better? When will you even like? When do you need to do that to 30 people? Like, I don't get it.
also, I think they just hate government too much. A lot of excuses that I've heard from people who want to have gun rights is that, oh, what if government tries to come for us? Like, how we gonna defend ourselves from police? Which is like, so like they think that government randomly will try to kill them for no reason, so they can have like America for themselves, which makes no sense. That's like
Well, if we ever are
TV.
brought into a civil war, we have the right to defend ourselves.
well, yeah, like the
Civil
the
war
main
from who
reason
though?
why
Like,
most people prefer to
Ourselves.
have like guns is to protect their homes and themselves, which
But
they
but
they
that's
believe
I
is a
also
sovereign right. Like that's
I
understandable,
also
but
like
I also
I
think
feel
imagine,
like the
broadening
process should
The
be a little bit
AR-15 in
more
my closet
difficult than
defends
just being
myself from
like,
tyranny.
but from
imagine
what I'm
saying
saying, right?
like,
Yeah,
guys,
I also think
let
that
me,
you're not going to beat if the military decides they want to turn guns towards you, right? Even if you have the numbers advantage, you cannot beat the military. The military will never let citizens have access to weapons that are better than the weapons they have, right?
At
So
the
as soon
same
as something
time,
like
I
that
don't think
happens,
they'd mow down millions of people to prove their point and have 0 civilians alive because we all have guns.
yeah, that's what I'm
that's
saying. It's stupid. So it's
If
saying
we're
that
all
like,
they're
armed,
not
they
going to
can't
do
take us all.
that.
That's the way I think of it.
no, the
No, no,
problem is that before me,
your country is like in the lead for, the big boom booms, bro. They don't even need to leave their offices to get rid of half of the country.
the problem
I don't
is
think
that a
they'd
lot of
blow up half the
people.
country though just to get rid of the civilians.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the
what
thing.
I'm saying. The problem is a lot of Americans think that for some reason government who depends on them, who takes their money, who uses them as servants is going to kill them. That's the same thing as saying that the owner of a slaves is going to kill their slaves. Like it's very stupid mindset. Why would American government kill civilians for no reason? when American government wants civilians to use them. Like, it makes no sense to me. That's a very bad logic.
Well, when we were occupied by the British, it's more of a thing from them, so we wouldn't get
That's what I'm saying. You
our
no
rights
longer,
violated.
you don't, yeah, we don't live in a society like that anymore, right? That's why you can see so many happy nations that don't have any more guns, right? Like the UK, right? The UK, with all its problems as of right now, is still safer than America, even with all these things, because all the violence is knives, which has a high survival rate, and then even then, the knife crime in America is still lower than the knife crime in the United States. Now you add on top of that guns, and like, wouldn't you agree with me that, for example, if I have a confrontation with someone, if I have a gun and they come up to me and they're like getting aggressive, I'm going to be more confident now because I know I have a gun. So instead of what I would have done maybe in a different situation where I'm like, nah, I don't want to mess with this guy because he might like hurt me. Now I know I have a gun. I want someone to try me so I can use my gun. You know what I mean? I feel like it also creates a lot of people who are aggressive.
I feel like America,
Yeah.
it's not viewed like this in other countries, but we have a bigger fuck around and find out attitude than a lot of other people. So I feel like it's ingrained in us more.
Well, adding on to, well, I don't think people should be looking for a problem, and like if you have a gun, you should mainly like keep it at home.
Yeah,
Right,
like,
like,
when
it
you have to
shouldn't
get
be,
your
like-
concealed carry permit and everything, they teach you de-escalation and everything, but obviously nobody's gonna follow that.
Well, yeah, like like some states and some countries are different, but like here in Canada, like we're only supposed to have our guns for hunting. Like we're not even supposed to have any concealed weapons. Like you can't even get caught with like brass knuckles or something. You can actually get sent to jail
Yeah,
for
right.
brass knuckles.
Well, brass knuckles are illegal in my state too.
Mm-hmm.
That's
It's
so
state
weird
by
to me. Why
state.
would yeah, like
Bear
why
mace
would
is
why
pretty
would
common
something for
here.
fighting people be illegal, but something that can kill people, that's just like, nah, man, that's your rights, bro. You know what I mean?
Which also used for
Yeah.
fighting. Let's not forget, people got fight with guns as well.
See, I feel
Yeah,
like
but I'm saying-
we should own guns, but there should be limits to it. 10-round mag limits. And
But I'm saying, yeah,
we
that's,
shouldn't
I
have
think I agree
concealed
with that.
carry. We should only be open carry.
I think
I feel like
that
if you have to have open carry and stuff like and certain gun laws like and stuff like that, I feel like give it to the right people. Don't just give
Yeah.
it to anyone.
I
feel like
for
you know,
we need a
have
bigger
it
vetting
regulated.
That is
process.
very
Yeah,
true.
you're right.
That is
We
something
need
to
it more
consider.
regulated. You are right.
But I think
That's pretty much the only thing. Like a perfect example is if you have a criminal record, like you shouldn't be able to just not have a criminal background check done and then just go to a gun store and then get a gun because you know, if you're a criminal, you kind of just lose the privilege to own a gun.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, there is a
even if
2-week
it's something
holding
like
period.
drinking and driving or something. If you have a criminal record for drinking and driving, you've lost the privilege to own a gun because you've just labeled yourself as a criminal.
Yeah.
I think the root
I was
people
gonna think,
are
yeah, that's what I think is important.
And
I
the
don't think
reason
it's
why I
also the
think
same.
that criminals specifically is because you've proven to yourself and you've proven to other people that you're a danger to yourself and others.
At the same time, though, if they really want a gun, they're just going to get an unregistered firearm.
Well, I mean, sure, but it's still going to make it like significantly harder for them to get a gun.
That's why I think what they do in Canada is great because it's really inconvenient. So it's kind of harder to get guns out, right? Because at the end of the day, every firearm that is out there was somehow there was a legal thing done somewhere, right? That's the part. We need to make the legal part harder so that it's not like something just people can do, right? Like, don't get me wrong, I get like limiting it to just criminals, but a lot of the time, like I said, people will just buy guns, right? Because it's like their First Amendment, or I mean, sorry, Second Amendment, right? And then it becomes a thing where there's so many filing the things off and just handing them out, right? So we have less legal guns, we have less guns by virtue as well, I think.
especially now.
There's still a lot of guns that are sold to by private sale, like person to person. So I'm sure
And
they can't
there's
really do
also-
a background check.
And there's also a lot of guns that are distributed through bribery. You know, like
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
paying with cops to get like $100,000 worth of guns just completely like the serial number scratched off and then sold to criminals. And
Yeah, I'm sure that shit happens. People are corrupt as fuck.
Yeah, it's happened before, so I wouldn't be surprised if it happened again.
I think the gun laws right now encourage it because there's this person on YouTube who has like 50 guns. One of them is pink, other one is red, third one is blue and green. They look like toys, but they are real guns. And they treat them like toys, like you would treat your doll collection or your Lego collection. It's weird. Like the way
It's like
so
they just like
normal.
that concerning.
I mean, some people do have serious gun collections that are worth like fucking millions.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like in America there's kind of like two stakes in it, right? Because America does make a lot of money from guns. I don't know. I'm not gonna like speak on everyone's motives. I don't know any of that. But I'm saying like I feel like the issue is there's not enough concern about the types of firearms. Like I said, I mean, if handguns were the only thing allowed there, different story. But
I mean, handguns are most of the crime that's committed are done with handguns, actually. Not long rifles.
Concealed firearms.
When it comes to
very true.
handguns, right? I get that they're involved in a lot of like crimes, but I'm saying that things like ARs and rifles, like those are crimes that are 100% preventable. Because a rifle, you're not going to use that for self-defense purposes. I don't know why someone breaks in your house. Your first thing is let me go grab my sniper, right? Unless you live in like a mansion or something. But when it comes to like ARs and things like that, I think a handgun is reasonable. A handgun is where you can say, well, this is actually for protection because you can put out a handgun and shoot someone who's trying to do something. Or maybe even a shotgun. I would say a shotgun is also permissible because I think it's for like unskilled people. It's kind of easy to just hit. But when it comes to things like an AR, you can shoot people from really far away and you can shoot them really like a lot, like really fast.
Well, even going into that, then what about like a pistol conversion kit that turns your pistol and then there's a frame around it that you put to make it into almost a short barrel pistol?
Aren't like modifications illegal in the United States?
No, you can make your pistol into a conversion kit. You can put force reset triggers in most states. Bump stocks are getting legal now. There's a lot of stuff you can do.
What a country, man. That's weird, bro. I mean,
state to state, but most are allowing it now. The ATF is overturning a lot of the stuff they're saying in recent days.
I just don't. I think it's not a good because, like, I totally get it, right? I think pistols are not necessary. I would still say a country without guns total is much better, but because of like the game theory aspect of it, where some people already have guns, and taking away guns is going to be difficult because some people still have them. Like, I get it, right? But if I could like magically make the United States like the UK, where guns are just like a mythological creature, I think I would do it for sure. I think it leads to less violence and all that.
I just feel like it would be very difficult to strip us of our guns.
Well, yeah, for sure. Like, this is not practical at all. I genuinely think, for like most of America, it's Jesus, free speech, and then guns, like in that order, and then everything else that's negotiable. But like Jesus, free speech, guns, and so it's definitely a very difficult thing to like.
Jesus and guns are in like the same sentence. It just makes no sense. Why would a person who preaches?
Well, I think he's talking about freedom of religion, and then freedom of speech, and then freedom to bear arms.
That's just my guess of what the American values are, not necessarily.
I mean, that pretty much sums it up.
Cannot head on. I can't lie.
But yeah, man. I definitely think it would be better without him, but I can understand. I don't really get it, but I can definitely acknowledge that it probably won't go away for a very, very, very long time.
I think I'm going to say something controversial. I think guns are the problem as well, but I think more of the problem are people themselves. I think we should, you guys should reopen mental asylums because a lot of people, I don't think, are fit to be in this society. They are not mentally stable, they are crazy, and they you need to be put in mental asylums. And I think that would also fix a lot of gun violence, honestly.
I just think it's not regulated enough. Like in Canada, it costs a lot of money and it costs a lot of time, and
Of
you need to be
course.
really
Is it
smart.
worth it? Is it worth it? That's the
And
question. I think it is. To reduce the deaths of people and psychopaths running in our society, it's absolutely worth to spend more money and more time, especially because America is a rich country. They do have enough, more than enough money to do that. Of course, maybe things will be more expensive, but isn't worth it for you to be more safe?
I think owning a gun should it's a right, but it should also be a privilege as well. Much like a car. A lot of people aren't going to have one, but it's a
Yeah,
privilege to have
you should
one.
need a license.
because I did have guns and then they took them away like relatively recently in history, right? And it was literally observed that Australia's like just crime and violence and all that just went down as soon as guns were like made extremely difficult to obtain because of that. So yeah, we can say like I do get the mental health aspect. It is definitely a thing, but it's not necessarily that we're saying oh guns make people do that to other people. We're saying that when there's guns, there's people who are mentally ill who were previously not able to do anything, but now they're able to go and end people. So the issue, my contention is not to say that, oh yeah, these guys are becoming evil because of the guns. I'm saying that the evil is being amplified because of the guns.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much it.
Should guns be allowed to own? I personally say yes. Who else is in the arms that are out free and walking? So you guys need to have your own guns, so the ops aren't walking free. You hear me? No one's hearing me out.
No comment. I was so not expecting that shit.
Me neither.
What? I feel like we just got transported into a completely different podcast, or like even worse, a different genre. We went from like a serious podcast to a comedy.
Yeah.
But y'all aren't
I
hearing
was
me.
not expecting it.
Why would you want to let your ops free?
Yeah, I like the surprise guest.
Barack Baby's hearing me out.
I hear you out. What you gotta say?
Wait, sorry.
Wow.
I don't think I can really defend the ease to obtain because Walmart used to literally sell guns.
Wait, so the topic is should guns be allowed to own? Or
Yeah.
okay, so
What are your opinions on guns?
I mean to everything to the bare necessity of hunting to the just the ego of just, owning one. And there's different people that own guns. You know what I mean? So it's just like
Yeah.
it's a different group. It's a different group of race and people that own a gun. You know what I mean? It's not just like country people. It's not just Latinos. It's not just blacks. It's not just gays. It's not just straight people. It's different demographics of people. Somebody who obtains a gun who's sane that goes through background check and gets one can easily go insane depending on what happens in their life. They could lose everybody, something could happen to their kid.
Yeah, but you know who else they're losing? They'll be losing the ops. So that's why they should be allowed.
No, I'm not saying that they shouldn't be allowed, but this is my overall point, right? So it's just imagine if things were stricter and they got everybody to give up their guns, right? So they said criminals are still gonna get guns regardless. Now criminals
Yeah.
have an upper hand on civilians, and now we have to what rely on the police to bail us out of a situation that could only
Yeah,
determine seconds. Police
That's
can't.
what I'm
yeah, yeah.
saying.
I
I
guess
mean,
I'll just respond to that. I think that it would also become an issue of enforcement, right? So obviously,
hmm
immediately when the guns go, it would become a problem. But I think it would be a brief thing, right? Because once you start to have those criminals who have guns, you get the police, you arrest them, you take away those guns, right? Because now there's only a finite number of guns in circulation. Because previously it would be okay, someone buys a gun, they go sell the gun, they do it. Now you cannot buy guns anymore. And now that means that the people who were illegally buying guns is eventually going to run out. So for sure, yeah, there will be like a crime spike. But I think it's kind of like a thing of, would you rather have a bunch of small pains for a really long time, or would you have like one sharp pain and then be done with it?
but it's not gonna happen that easily because you forget that hell, one country beside us is the biggest manufacturer and supplier of drugs, and how they supply those drugs. They don't just
Well, you're
Yeah, I
right
think they got
about
banned.
the. Oh wow, that's actually the second time he's gotten banned.
Yeah.
I think it's because he said drugs.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
I think the problem is generally the justice system because when people become criminals, they for some reason are also released, like this Ukrainian woman who died, and the criminal who killed that woman was released 30 times from prison. At that point, like, how are you gonna release the same guy from prison who's a criminal who previously also killed people 30 times from prison? And you know that guy's
Yeah.
mentally stable. Even when you look at that guy's face, you can tell that there's something wrong with him. How are you gonna release that guy? Like, it makes no sense. And generally, I think the government wants there to be crime and criminals because there are some states in USA where you can have drugs and guns in front of police officer and they won't do anything. Like, it's insane. Like, I've seen videos of literally in some states people smoking like illegal substances, drugs in front of police officer and police does nothing. Like at this
Yeah, like
point, they want people to be poor. They also want them to be dumb, and they also want them to be criminal because it makes no sense to me. It's really